Hello everybody, it's Stewart A. Swerdlow, and this is the third week of January 2012. I know I haven't spoken to you in a bit of time, and that's because we're in the midst of our week-long OMG training class right here in St. Joseph, Michigan, where the snow is coming down and the temperatures are falling and it's really winter. But during this last few days and even week, there has been a couple of news stories that have been so interesting I wanted to share my perspectives on them with you. One of the first ones is that a man in Thailand actually married his dead girlfriend. Not only did he marry her, but she was replete in a wedding dress. He put a ring on her finger, and then they buried her. And the reason supposedly that this happened was because all during their lifetime he had promised to marry her, but he was busy with work and school and he kept putting it off. And then unfortunately she had a car accident that took her life. And the man felt so guilty, according to the story, that in order to fulfill his promise ultimately to her, he married her at her funeral. But what significance does this have as far as the New World religion and end times is concerned? It is a story about blending the physical with the non-physical, the living with those who are not living. A la Harry Potter and all the other science fiction movies out there that have been out recently that interact the astral with the physical on the earth. So this story, a true story, is actually designed to promote the interactions and connections between those who are alive and those who are not alive. But perhaps the biggest story of the month is the sinking of the Costa Concordia off the coast of Italy. And as many of you know, exactly 3 years ago this week, Janet and I and a few other people that we know were on that ship, on that same route from Civitavecchia to Savona. Of course, nothing happened at the time, but I did feel very uneasy on that ship, and I even told people that it felt like the ship was going to sink or tilt. And they all said, oh, that's very silly because that cannot possibly happen. However, as we see, it did happen. That story was a microcosm of the world. It should not have happened. It's almost as if the captain was mind-controlled and programmed, because I actually did meet him and he was not anything like what they're portraying him to be on the news media. And so actually what I am going to say is the ship is a statement by the Illuminati to sink it. There were people from every continent on that ship, every nationality, every race, and they were sunk, hit on the rocks and tilted. And Concordia represents an agreement or a union of something. And so that could either represent the EU itself or it could also represent the Earth. And I personally think it represents the Earth because of all the nationalities that were on there. And of course, they haven't counted up all the dead yet. So far, as of today, there's only 11 people that they know are dead, but there are at least 21 missing. I think it will be interesting if ultimately, when it's all said and done, that it turns out to be 33 people who will have died. And of course, 33 will be end of a series of cycles, and that will be a tremendous statement as a global ritual. And so we have to watch that story and see what happens. Perhaps the captain himself will commit suicide, so the truth will never be known. Perhaps other things will come out. It's just been so bizarre. Why would he bring a ship so close to shore? Why would he order dinner 1 hour after the ship hit the rocks? Why would he abandon ship and say he fell into a lifeboat and then take a taxi when he got to shore? These are not the actions of a normal person, especially one who has been assigned as a captain of a ship, and he's been a captain for at least 6 years. So there's more to this story than meets the eye, more than the media is telling you, and as we find it out, we will let you know. But right now, I am saying this is a microcosm of what the Illuminati plan to do to the world, which is sink it, let it hit the rocks. So, back to the OMG training class. It's a tremendously wonderful group, one of the best we've ever had. It's so wonderful to be with them. I hope that you'll be with us in a time or two in the future. So until the next time, this is Stewart A. Swerdlow for Expansions.com.